And joining me now is Mr. DEan Janes. He's the CEO of Imaging3 Incorporated, IMGG. Dean's been a while.
It has, Don.
Been at least a month or so, and I think since we last spoke, you've done a bunch of things. You've had a shareholders open house at your facility, and I understand that went very well.
It did.
But more recently and more importantly, you met with the FDA.
Yeah, on Monday we had a meeting with the consultants and my consultants in the FDA, and you know, it's a really important meeting for us because, you know, to kind of give you an idea, most of the decision makers for our 510K were present. You know, it was about 6 of their people, you know, 6 on my side, including myself, of course. And, you know, we wanted to have an open dialogue, as, you know, especially about where we were missing the mark, you know, where I was missing the mark, and, you know, try to get some feedback. And it went really well. You know, we established, you know, a better relationship with them and got some solid feedback from them. On top of which, you know, they were going over our imaging protocol, which is the meat of it. And, you know, we got, you know, some changes to that. I think we're going to go more towards live patient human imagery that we're going to provide, which is something we expected. We thought was maybe like, you know, a long shot, but was probably where the FDA was leaning. So we were prepared for that, and you know, we're going to be doing our study, and we came back from that with just a blueprint of how we can move forward now. And it's pretty exciting. We're all excited to get working on this project.
Well, you know, it kind of reminds me when you buy a new piece of software, there's always a file that says read me.
Read me.
And no one ever reads it.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, you've come back with this meeting, like you said, with a blueprint of where you need to go from here to get to what is, of course, the ultimate goal.
Well, absolutely. And what's really frustrating is that, you know, sometimes they just don't give you much of a dialogue. You know, there's not a lot of back and forth. And this meeting, though it was only an hour, it felt like it lasted forever. But I mean, the amount of information we got was just critical because we could understand exactly, like I said, where that bar is. You know, what is it that we were missing? Not only that, but what is it that they expect from us? Because you know, this 510K process is evolving. It's a newer process now, and you know, we're tired. I'm tired of having, you know, a back and forth that just seems to go on forever. And again, it's not a blame thing. It's just not understanding what do I need to provide. And we came back with that with just a ton of information, you know, and some real dialogue and an open dialogue. So we can now have, you know, an open dialogue with the FDA to kind of say, hey, what do you think about this?
I think it's important to point out, especially for folks who are joining us for the first time, you've done 4 of these in the past, 510Ks, and you've been successful in each of the 4 occasions. This one has had a hiccup now for about a couple of years. But again, as you mentioned, this process is not the same now as it was in the past when you did this 4 times successfully.
Oh, right, and the entire industry knows that. I mean, you know, one of the things, you know, just so you... well, one of the things that came out of the meeting is that we are on the right path. It is a 510K. It was very explicit that this is a 510K product. But, you know, somewhat they were admitting to that it is an evolving process now. The 510K of yesterday is not even close to being the same as the 510K now. And that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not really making a judgment call on it. I just want to know what gets me the golden ticket, what gets me through that process. And you know, our consultants were really good at setting up this meeting and managing this meeting to really kind of get that out of them. And I think when we established at the onset, you know, that we wanted to have an open dialogue, it really worked to our benefit. And we came with that, a blueprint to now get to work and make this happen.
So basically, as you said, you've got this blueprint, you have a better understanding with the FDA, they have a better understanding with Imaging3. What is now the next step that the company has to take to continue to push this process forward?
Well, it's you know, 2 steps. You know, one is getting this imaging protocol started and getting it moving along. You know, taking this mountain of information that we got from them, I don't want to say a mountain, but you know, it's not horrific, but getting the amount of information that we did from them, we're anxious to go back and massage our 510K, you know, our submission to meet their requirements. They were very, very open and said, you know, we want to see more in this area, we want to see more in that area, and you know, it just it was exciting once we got off, because now we knew, okay, great, this is the path, this is what we need to do. And you know, it's not like you're just taking it arbitrarily off the top of your head and say, is this good enough? You know, do you like that? You know, no, they gave us, you know, real measurable bars for us to meet and the areas that they wanted us to focus on.
So when you go to the radiological convention in Chicago next month, you're going to be able to tell these people, well, we now know what hoops we have to jump through to get to the finish line. I mean, that's the message I guess you're going to take to Chicago.
Well, absolutely, and from this day forward. I mean, it's really important, and I'm really excited about it because I don't think I've felt this way for a very long time, understanding what it is we need to provide. You know, because I think most people in this industry are lost in this 510K process and not understanding exactly what they want. And that's why I was really excited about this meeting, and that's why it was so critical to have it before we even started doing a ton of the work in the background. I mean, we were working on parts of the projects, but you know, it didn't really make any sense to go in one direction and they say, oh, no, we really don't care about that, we want that. You know, so it was really good for us and the consultants to really have it, like I said, a blueprint, to understand exactly what it is that they wanted and where they wanted us to be specific in.
Well, Dean, this is great news. I'm sure the audience appreciates it well. Against Imaging3 IMGG, please keep us posted as we continue to go along.
I definitely will. It won't take a month this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.